Hi, Dave Spalding from Handgun Combatives. Darren and I have received quite a few requests lately for me to start doing some more videos for both the Facebook and the website. First thing I'd bring to your attention is that I do have commercial videos available from Panteo Productions that you could purchase, but I'm guessing since most of you are kind of hammering me to do these, you probably don't want to spend that money, but I thought I would just give myself a shameless plug to throw that out there. That said, what I want to talk to you about in this segment is using the Bianchi plate rack for combative pistol craft training. Now, before we go any further, don't be hammering on me, Dave, you're not training from concealment. It's really hot out here today. As you can see, I'm kind of sweaty, and I train from concealment a lot. So I feel perfectly comfortable doing this on this hot day without concealment. Why do I like Bianchi plate racks? Well, let's take a look at it. Let me pull this up. Walk on down here with me. If we're talking about physiology and shot placement, if you take a look at where the 8-inch plate is on the Bianchi plate rack as related to my high chest, I'm about 6 foot, about 180 pounds, so I'm like the average American male. That plate is right here in the high chest cavity. That being the case, this is a pretty good simulation of where you need to hit if you want to create incapacitation with a handgun. So for that purpose, I like that. As you can see on this plate that's freshly painted, I'm probably a little off to the side on that shot, but still very viable. This plate right here, I would have been over here, it would have been right through my heart. So I like Bianchi plate racks because physiologically, they're a sound way to get that good shot placement. Plus, the plates go over instantly so you get that instant feedback. I designed a plate rack for law enforcement targets that's called the training plate rack, that is basically your Bianchi plate rack turned upside down. What's that mean? Every time you shoot the plate, you don't have to pull the cord, they reset themselves. So if you want to shoot plates a lot like I do, that type of plate rack could come in handy. Let's walk back here and look at some of the drills you can do to enhance your combative pistol craft skills on a plate rack. Okay, we're going to be back here on the Bianchi plate rack. Now we're back about 8 yards. And that's about as close as my gun club will let me shoot. As far as fighting with a handgun, that's a fairly long distance if you look at statistical analysis of gunfights. But then keep in mind that, you know, figures lie and liars figure. So the idea that you're going to have the average gunfight may not play. So shooting at 8 yards, not a big deal. If you end up having to shoot somebody at 5 yards, the target's just going to be a little bit bigger. But you just got to kind of keep safety in mind, because even though the plates fall over, this is a well-designed plate rack, you can get splatter, so let's keep it safe. One of the simplest drills you can do is merely just a draw and shoot and see how fast you can do that. Now I've got an electronic timer here that does give me the time of my draw and my strike, but the reason I really like an electronic timer is just because it gives me a cue that I know is coming, but I don't know exactly when. So let's just do a basic draw and shoot on a plate and see what we can do there. Make sure my gun's loaded up. Get my hands in a fending position like I would be if I was beginning a fight. Ah, missed. Why did I miss? I went too fast. If you look at the clock, it's around 1 second. So I was pushing it a little bit too hard. Let's slow it down and get a good hit. Okay, there's a 1.2, so about 0.2 of a second. Now, I could have had Darren edit out that miss and made myself look a whole lot better, but you know what? The only person that never misses never shoots. That, or they're just lying to you. Misses can be a way to learn about skills and what you're doing wrong. And in that particular case, I knew exactly what I did wrong. I went too fast. I smashed on the trigger, trying to look good in front of the camera and being concerned about what was on the top of the timer. You know what? That's a cross that we all seem to bear. So let's slow it down. Let's get a good hit. And like I say, that it's a 1.2. Let's take a look at it again. Okay, there's another 1.2. That felt good. Elbow came back. I went up. I went directly to the plate. I'll play with you a little bit, see if we can do something a little faster. Okay, there's a 1.14, so I pushed it a little bit faster. Would it be slower from a concealing garment? Sure, because anytime you add something to something, it's going to slow you down. But if you've worked this real hard, you clear that garment, you practice it, you'll be surprised it isn't that much slower. And keeping in mind that the blink of a human eye is about 0.3 seconds, when we're talking about a 114 versus a 124 on an electronic timer, you're talking about such a small amount of time that, you know, it really doesn't matter all that much. So, what other kind of stuff can we do on the plate rack? Well, let me show you another drill I like. What I'm going to do now here is I'm going to add some multiple targets into it. I'm going to put a reload into this and then drive on. It just kind of shakes it up a little bit. It's real easy just to shoot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left to right or right to left. It's a little bit different kind of mixing it up because you got to go from plate to plate to plate, kind of like you would in the middle of a gunfight. So let's set that up. See what that looks like. All I did there was go right to left, left to right, made a wide span of the muzzle, then did a speed load, shot 3 plates down. What order you do that in is totally up to you. It really doesn't matter. But what it allows you to do is to do a whole bunch of different things, work all kinds of essential skills, drawing from the holster, speed loading. You could even put some dummy rounds in there and clear some malfunctions. Really, it's up to you and your imagination what you want to do. But using a Bianchi style plate rack for your combative pistol training can go a long way to enhancing those essential skills. And you know what? It's also kind of fun. And there's nothing wrong with being fun as long as you are accomplishing the skills, building the skills that you need to build.